Hi, Patrick here. Have Cheetah Will View. And so a funny thing happened on the way to the forum yesterday. Um, so I went and I had a chance to have lunch with my good friend Romy's sister Sherry and his mama, and they called me and says, "Hey, how would you like to have lunch?" And so we got some stuff for you. Uh, some of you might know, some of you are new to the channel. My buddy Jerome, aka Catfish, was my best friend, and he passed away last year of a stroke. And he left me his movie collection. So I have a tremendously huge collection that they're they don't have any cases. he he ran out of room, but his mom and contacted me and said, "Hey, we found more stuff for you, and we want to go ahead and give it to you." So of course, we went down to have lunch, and I came back, and was going through some of the stuff, and of course, it's really very sad to do. I'm because we used to go movie hunting a lot. We used to go to Family Video a lot, and we used to go to Disc Replay, and we sit for hours talk about horror, superhero movies, anything, and so I miss my friend tremendously, and I have a lot of his collection with me, and it's a sobering thought, it's very somber. So I got the latest bag yesterday, and I was going through it, and I have to say, my friend always surprised me. His collection is just amazing, actually. Um, it's it's amazing. I've gotten so many different movies that I just can't even begin to tell you. Yesterday, one of the movies that he ended up giving me that was in his collection was a movie called Dog Soldiers. Now I've heard of that movie lots of times in the community, and I was gonna buy it at Hamilton Book, and I didn't pull the trigger on it. I had it in my cart, but I didn't buy it. But I heard a lot of people talk about it. Every time they talk about werewolf movies, one of the first things they mention is Dog Soldiers. And then yesterday, there it was sitting in one of those bags, on a Blu-ray edition at that. So, um, yeah, if I showed you everything he gave me, if I had cases for it, I definitely would. But it's just so massive. It's crazy huge. He had more movies than I did. I used to tease him about that. I says, "Oh no, you." He came down to my basement, and he said, you have more than I do. I could tell you right now that's not true. He had far more than I do, and it's just sort of overwhelming. Like I said, to actually comprehend everything that he's given that he had. There's so many, and I have no cases for him. But there's a few, and one of the ones that I saw yesterday, and I said, you know what? I feel like I want to watch this. So the movie we're going to be talking about today, after a 4-minute introduction, we're going to be talking about 2001's The Breed. The Breed. This stars Bokeem Woodbine, Adrian Paul from Highlander, and Bai Ling from The Crow. And I had no expectations for this movie. I had no idea what it was about or anything. I just, this looks cool. Let me see what it is. Man, was I blown away. This is fantastic. I love this movie so much. What a tremendous movie this is, and no one's ever even talked about it, and that's a damn shame because this movie is so kick-ass. Um, it's set in an alternate universe, alternative future. Um, it's so stylish. It feels like it's in the 50s, and yet it has tech from the 70s, a little bit from the maybe even a little bit before, a little bit in the 80s, but um, I don't even know how to explain this really. Um, Humans and vampires, vampires have just come out as a society. They come out to the world. The world is run sort of totalitarian. It's it's not quite like, it's almost like sort of like almost like a Russian type 50s KGB feel, but it's not. It doesn't really identify the city or the country that it is in. It's supposed to be America, I guess. Um, I don't know. You don't know. That's the thing about it is, I mean, Bokeem Woodbine comes in and it feels American. The cars they drive, they're all in the 50s. The tech is in the 70s and the 80s. It's just a really cool movie. And basically, the vampires have come out of society, come out to the world, and they want to integrate with humanity. And so there's some people that want that. There's some people that don't. And of course, Bokeem Woodbine and his partner initially are investigating a series of murders, and his partner's killed in doing so. So Bokeem Woodbine's character Grant is paired up with uh, Agent Gray, and he works for the vampire community, which is based in Serenity. So he works for the Serenity Police Department. He's an agent, and so it's a vampire and a human combined, and they investigate this crime, and they find out that someone is trying to instigate a civil war between the two, a war between the two, for their own purposes, and they do their very best to cause the two sides to clash, but we don't know who did it. Grant initially, of course, that's how it is in these movies. He initially doesn't trust the vampires, and the vampires don't initially trust him either. Gray is not really impressed with his techniques. He's headstrong and he's impulsive, but he sort of tempers himself. Grant does is when he meets Lucy, who's played by Bai Ling, and he falls for Lucy, and of course, that really has its own dangers and rewards in that sense. The bad guy is a little bit unexpected, um, and it makes for a great ending. Makes for a great ending. Um, I just love this movie. The costumes were on point. This is shot in Hungary in 2000. This is a 2001 release. The movie was shot in Hungary. It looks great. It looks fantastic. The buildings that they used as for locations look dark and foreboding. They even have a dance party scene reminiscent of Blade. Blade 2. Is it Blade 2? Um, Blade 1, I guess. Yeah, the big dance party. Not quite as many people, but still really effective. It's really cool bumping music. Good score in this, too, as well. The practical effects were really strong. Not very much CGI in this, if any at all. Um, so it's a fun movie. It's a movie I've never heard of before. The acting is really good. Bokeem Woodbine is, and some of you may know him from a ton of low budget movies, but he also did The Rock. He was in The Rock, uh, and also of course Adrian Paul, of course, was in Highlander. Of course, we know that. The one surprise that got me was Bai Ling. I don't really know her career that well. I know the name. The first time I ever saw the name was she was in a reality show. But since then, I picked up on some of her acting. Like she's done a couple of fight movies. She did The Crow. She was the femme fatale in The Crow. And she was also, of course, in this. And you know what? She's actually a really good actress. I don't know what happened that caused her career to go sideways, but I know that at this point in this movie, she was outstanding, and I really liked her character Lucy very much. Um, this is rated R, so it's a very cool movie. A lot of good gore. If you're a vampire fan, this is great. You'll love this movie. If you're an action fan, you'll love this movie. Um, I can't say enough for it, and it gets caught me by it caught me because I think that knowing Romy, he bought this as a blind buy. Just like that's what we do. That's what we do. We see these type of movies, and we pick them up. We know nothing about them. I'm sure the names on the cover were probably his calling card. I mean, he probably knew the names. I mean, if I would have saw this, I would have picked this up for the name of the cast, even though I didn't know anything about the movie. Um, but that's the fun of it. And so, in keeping in that spirit, that's one of the reasons why I watch this. It's like it's a blind buy. I know it. It's also something that I see him picking up. And so, yeah, this is I highly recommend this. Um, 2001, you might have to look for it a little bit. It might be on secondaries, might be on eBay, might be on Amazon. It is from Sony Record. It is from Sony, so that helps. It's a major studio, so it might help a little bit in finding it. So there's probably copies out here. There probably are copies out there to be had. Highly recommend it. Check it out. There's a director's commentary with it with Adrian Paul and the director Michael Michael Oblitz. Um, so you might be able to check that out too. You'll enjoy that as well. It's a fun commentary. It's insightful. Get a chance to listen to it. Highly recommend that as well. All right, so that is The Breed from 2001. Vampire movie. I had a lot of fun with it. I think you will too. So there you go. That's my Halloween movie, right? So yep. So thanks for listening, and if you're new to the channel, consider hitting the sub button, and also hit the notification bell. Let you know anytime we're doing something new, and leave a comment down below. Let me know if you've seen The Breed, and if you have, tell me what you think about it. This is not Bokeem Woodbine's first movie as far as vampires go. There's another movie I would like to recommend if you get a chance to look for it. It did come through the Dollar Tree store, so you might be able to find copies of it pretty relatively easy. It's called The Night Crew, which was directed by Kristen Sesma. Highly recommend that as well. Super, super fun movie. Very much could be easily a great double feature. The Night Crew and The Breed. That would be a hell of a double feature. All right, that's it for me. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace.